This is what I call the Manifesto at Nazareth. Jesus was back in his hometown now, and he was invited to speak at the synagogue. And so he chose a passage from Isaiah, chapter 61 of Isaiah, which outlines his manifesto, if you like. So it's in Luke chapter 4, verses 15 to 30. Jesus was teaching in their synagogues, and everyone praised him. So he went to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And on the Sabbath day, he went into the synagogue, as it was his custom. He stood up to read, and the scroll of the prophet Isaiah was handed to him. Unrolling it, he found the place where it is written, "The Spirit of the Lord is on me, because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners and recovery of sight for the blind, to set the oppressed free and to proclaim the year of the Lord's favour." Then he rolled up the scroll, gave it back to the attendant and sat down. The eyes of everyone in the synagogue were fastened on him. He began by saying to them, "Today this scripture is fulfilled in your hearing." Everyone spoke well of him, and they were amazed at the gracious words that came from his lips. "Isn't this Joseph's son?" they asked. Jesus said to them, "Surely you will quote this proverb to me, 'Physician, heal yourself.' And you will tell me, 'Do here in your hometown what we've heard that you can do in Capernaum.' Truly I tell you," he continued, "no prophet is accepted in his own hometown. I assure you there were many widows in Israel at Elijah's time, when the sky was shut for 3.5 years, and there was a severe famine throughout the land. Yet Elijah wasn't sent to any of them, but a widow in Zarephath in the region of Sidon. And there were many in Israel with leprosy in the time of Elisha the prophet, yet not one of them was cleansed, only Naaman the Syrian." All the people in the synagogue were furious when they heard this. They got up, drove him out of town, and took him to the brow of the hill on which the town was built in order to throw him off the cliff. But he walked right through the crowd and went on his way. So Jesus is back in his hometown of Nazareth. But remember, Jesus hadn't come to make people feel nice about themselves. And even when we give our lives to him, there are times when a lot of trouble can kick off. Jesus came to stir things up, to unsettle them. So, Jesus reads from the prophet Isaiah chapter 61. This is his manifesto, if you like. In fact, Isaiah 61 is a fantastic passage for anyone who wants to change the world in which they live. Anyway, Jesus tells the listeners that that famous passage has been fulfilled this day. And initially, the people think this is marvellous. "Oh, listen to him. He teaches with such authority. Look at him." And then he starts to challenge the unbelief of the locals, and they don't like that one bit. And he reminds them that many prophets of the past worked with foreigners who believed, not the Jewish people. And this offends them. They had always thought a Messiah should save the Jewish people, not foreigners. But God had other ideas. Jesus knew that eventually the whole earth would hear of his message and respond to it, positively or negatively. But that was not what the people of Nazareth wanted to hear. They wanted it to be local. They were disgusted. One moment they were loving him, the next moment they were ready to kill him. So much so that they wanted to throw him off the cliff upon which the town was built, because he was challenging their complacency and stirring things up within their spirits, and they didn't like it. They thought they had everything sewn up, and here he was saying that they were full of unbelief and that he would welcome the outcasts. How dare he welcome outcasts? And this offended them, and remember, you can never give offence. You can only wait for people to take it. And they certainly took it, and in the end tried to kill him. But it wasn't his time, which he knew, so he walked through the crowd and just went on his way. It's all kicking off.